Hello and welcome to the morning show once again. Teeing off with RevSportz. We are back after last week's Friday, and to discuss today we have Bharat Namaraj. Good morning, Bharat. Welcome. And again, the second test also went to the Aussies in the Ashes. At one point, we thought England would give a fight, but I was thinking if one more wicket was there, England would have gone for it. But yes, the Australian bowling side has been fantastic. Overall thoughts on the second test before we go into details?
I guess it's a game of small margins. So that is where England lost. I think I will go back to that second test play when they were 186 for one.
Hmm.
Uh, it's fine to play baseball. People tell uh, the England style of play has been played before by Australia and all. But if you notice, in the early 2000s, when Australia played with an aggressive approach, they knew when to go hard,
Hmm.
when not to go hard. That is something I don't think this England team knows. For example, I think I gave it on Twitter itself. There was this Edgbaston test between England and Australia on day two. The ball was swinging, the ball was seaming. I guess it was Andy Caddick and Darren Goff bowling. So the Wasps were batting the Watwins. Okay, Steve was known as a great player, but even Mark didn't look pretty on that day. They were getting beaten on the outside, they were getting beaten on the inside, but they were ready to get stuck in. That is what I don't think this England team knows. Some of those shots, Ollie Pope, even Joe Root trying to hook, or on the third day, Harry Brook trying to manufacture room. These Australian bowlers are very tall, so they will get their bumpers very high. If you have to land a shot from there, you have to either hook or try something crazy like Harry Brook tries manufacturing room and trying to uppercut. It's not easy against because these are very tall bowlers, so you should know when to pull, when not to pull, when to hook, when to pull, and when not to hook because you can't pull that very high bumpers, and that is where I guess England lost those 30. If they had restricted the lead to 30-40 runs, it would have been great. Yeah, on the
Hmm.
50th day, Ben Stokes had a great knock. It all came down to that Barrister dismissal, I guess. After that dismissal, after that incident, he took his game to the level. For a moment, it felt like, yeah, Dean Johnson cut the Ambrose. I didn't see it live.
Hmm.
Only afterwards, I saw it 92, 93 highlights,
Hmm.
but it felt like same kind of thing where Cutley Ambrose, it woke up a sleeping lion in Cutley Ambrose here. It woke up Ben Stokes suddenly started playing a lot of shots, a lot of sixes, pulls, and then
He was
Australians obviously
using a walkie-talkie, I think.
and Australians bowled better to him because they started bowling wide off and
Hmm.
finally got out. So what I would have, yeah, he was in that zone, but somewhere some kind of what kind of communication could have come from the dressing room that Australians are trying to
Hmm.
bowl. We bowl to you wide off. You are the one who has to finish this innings. Try to take singles. There's no problem. It's not a one-day game. It's not a T20 game. Let Broad play a few shots. If he gets out, let him get
Exactly.
out. You try to play take singles for next 15, 20 runs. But he was in that zone and tried a
Exactly.
shot and got out from there. It's going to be always downhill for England. Yeah, our good old 20-year-old Jimmy Boy try to get stuck in. That's good to see because he had a bad test. In that respect, it was good to see some fighting spirit from the 40-year-old.
Yeah.
But that too much too. That
He even took one on his face, not face, but on the helmet. And if you have seen the last few overs, every ball was coming off to the face and the chest, and they were bowling all short balls onto the body. Right? They were attacking Australian team. The bowlers
once
were attacking.
was over, and also Australians were encouraged by the fact that some of these top order, middle order batters were going
Hmm.
after the short balls.
Hmm.
Then I go back that same
Hmm.
period, 186 or one. If England had not gone after some of the short balls, very high bumpers, then I don't think they would have been encouraged to try it again and again because England did that. From there on, they again and again tried the
Hmm.
same tactic. But they knew
Hmm.
they let it be the lower order, middle order, or top order. That these guys go after this short ball. So
Exactly.
it's
Exactly. And
so that is
uh,
why. the template is good. I just one more point. England's
Yeah.
template is really good. I like it because there seems to be clarity of thought, freedom. That's what I hear. If I go back to that Pakistan England test, what I heard is before the first day's play, Zach Cravley was feeling nervous, and England management
Hmm.
weren't even talking about that game. They were talking about some just making jokes and all, so that uh, Zach Cravley, this Ben Beckett, and all, they will feel secure, or they will not feel nervous. So this sort of things I like, but the only thing I would say is they don't seem to have that game awareness. When to go baseball, when not to go
Hmm.
baseball.
Exactly. And I was coming to this question only on the second one, that both the games, they were marginal wins for Australia, and there were performances that took the game apart. So why do you think it is more mental also from Australia's side? Because they know that these guys will attack no matter what the situation is, and they took advantage of that one. And on this note, also coming to the captaincy part from both the captains, uh, baseball, Ben Stokes, yes, he has been doing fantastic for his team. He scored the runs, but that captaincy approach, choosing the correct time of how to do it. And then third test is, I think, in Headingley, Joe Root's home ground. So where do you see this series going? Do you see a comeback
Yeah,
from
but
Australia, from England,
I guess
with this
I
approach to
guess
the
that,
game?
I guess that Barrister thing would have charged up England, but they have to show it on the field.
Hmm. Hmm.
The incident, they have to show it on the field again. They make a change or two. Anderson had a poor test, so they might not take him. I don't think Stokes' captaincy is going well with his
Hmm.
base period at 40, because he likes
Hmm.
to go long spells. Stokes is giving him only 2 3 overs. If you notice, Anderson is at his best when starts getting a little bit of moment in his third over. Stokes giving 3 over spells only. So after 3 overs,
Hmm.
it's not bowling. So these two not matching. Somewhere it's not matching between those two. So he may be left out. Otherwise, yeah, Oli Pop also has an injury problem. So I don't know if
Hmm. Yeah.
Dan Level
Shoulder injury.
Leeds test. It's one of those grounds where if you get it right, you'll get a lot of wickets because it has full its length. We saw Mr. Anderson himself in 2021, what he did to
Hmm.
India, absolutely ripped through the top order by hitting a fullish length. What if you don't get your lengths right, you can go for plenty of runs on that slow seaming pitch. It doesn't do a lot these days like it used to, but it's slow seaming pitch. It's not a fast track. So England have to get their lines right, channelize their all whatever uh, they're
Hmm.
feeling inside, or the kind of aggression they're feeling, the kind of emotions they're feeling after what happened to Barrister.
Hmm.
That's where it is comes down to. Again. We have to take their chances as well. At least we're going to get some catches in the slip garden. England have one of the worst records in the garden. Only Bangladesh perhaps have a worse record in the last 3 or 4 years. So that's under worry. It has to be a worry because for last 2 3 seasons they've been dropping catch after catch in the slip garden,
I
including the
like
wicket.
this captain. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, that's all. They just been dropping a lot of chances. So
Hmm.
all these things it has to go right for them. As I said, it has to be you make you feel emotions but what happened to
Hmm.
Barrister, rightly or wrongly.
Hmm.
But you have to channelize all those emotions on the field instead of
Exactly.
trying to do something off the field.
Exactly. And these things happen with the Australian team playing, and there were also so many catch controversies, uh, dragging to the ground, and even I think uh, for one format player was in the commentary com box, uh, backing that. I think Johnson's catch. I don't remember much. But talking about the individual performances, Steve Smith has been good. Ben Stokes has been good. But thoughts on Ben Duckett? He has one innings 98, and the second one I think 85 or 87. That man has been fantastically good. Your thoughts?
Uh, Back in 2016 itself, I said this guy is the one to watch out for. Ashwin basically destroyed his career at that time, but Ravi Ashwin has done that to many left-handers. But he scored runs in a Northamptonshire, he scored runs at Renbridge for Nottinghamshire. People tell he doesn't
Hmm.
have the technique. to play the seaming ball. Not too sure I agree with it because you don't score runs at Trent Bridge without facing seaming conditions because the ball does
Mm.
seam there, swings there. The ball definitely does a bit at Trent Bridge. So if you're doing well at Trent Bridge, then definitely have a decent technique. I remember a 75 scored against Somerset watching it on YouTube. He certainly can play the seaming ball and he scored runs here. So it's an attacking player, plays lot of shots square on the offside, bit like David Warner. But
Mm.
there's one difference. David Warner obviously brought up on Australian wickets, so he goes back and across to play the pull. Ben Duckett virtually throws his hands at that at those deliveries, and also again he takes on those high bumpers as well. It's like some of the other teammates, baseball teammates. He takes on these high bumpers. That is how he got out both times. So
Mm.
if he gets that right, I think he'll be fine. Obviously, if he comes out to India, if Ashwin is still play, he would be to trouble him. But as I said, Ashwin has troubled so many left-handers. I think people were
Mm.
unfair on him in 2016 that he failed in 4 innings. Is Ashwin and not just on social media, everyone, even English journalists started saying is over for Ben Tuckett, which I didn't agree at least at that time because Ashwin has done that to many left-handers, and good to see he's worked his way back. Beckett himself once said, I think, in an interview that he thought his test career is over. But
Mm.
it so happened that Alex Lees and all these guys couldn't get it right, so they brought him back for Pakistan, thinking that he can play spin bowling, but he's also now scoring against pace bowling.
That's good to learn about this one from 2016. And when players make a comeback, it's fantastic stories. But before we end, I would want to ask your views on the West Indies side. Again, your smile says a lot. You that day you were telling that you can go on for West Indies for 2 hours long, but 2 3 minutes on this unfortunate, not unfortunate, but what to say? Yeah, unfortunate only because we won't be seeing West Indies, that team in the World Cup coming, and the performance of the team that once were the world champions have drastically fall over the years. So your thoughts?
See, world champions, 50 world champions at least. You have to think about bygone era, once upon a time, one fine day, and all these words. We have to bring it up because it was 1979. Yeah,
Uh,
1983 they still won. They lost to India, whatever it is. But after that, not much. Yeah, Salim Jaffer incident in 87, then 1992. Obviously, they had the chance in Australia, but in that final league game, but other than Brian Lara, no one scored runs that match. Whatever it is, that's in the past now. Yeah, but West Indies decline. I don't think it started the last 2 years. So yeah,
mm,
T20 cricket they were doing really well. I agree for 7 8 years or whatever. But West Indies overall decline didn't start in the last 2 years, so 3 years or something. So we can't blame this group of players. It started way back.
mm,
As I said, I go back. The last time I in Test cricket, the last time I really thought West Indies looked good was against Pakistan was against India in 1987. They won that series, I guess, 1-0, the Barbados Test. After that, they went to Pakistan, lost 3-0. Since then, West Indies Test side has been on a decline. Yeah, occasionally they have played well, like against England, they have played well. Somehow, maybe history or whatever motivates them when they play against England. That's one side, they play well in Test cricket. In ODI cricket, too, they have been on decline. ODI cricket, they lost to
mm,
Kenya in the 1996 World Cup. Then obviously they came to the semi-final somehow and again lost to Australia and then cliffhanger. It was Calypso collapse. So they have been on
mm,
decline for long. Since then, what they have done in ODI cricket? 99 they lost out in the group phase. 2003 they didn't qualify, I think, for Super Six.
mm, mm,
2007 they were in Super 8, but yeah, everyone thrashed them. Even England defeated them, who themselves
mm,
were in a bad shape in 2007 World Cup. They also defeated England, West Indies. 2011 they got crushed by Pakistan in the quarterfinals, I guess. So
mm,
they've not done anything. 2015 also they got crushed by New Zealand. So it's been a long time, and just that we have seen the what can you say final nail. Okay, I don't want to say final nail in the coffin. They might come back. I don't want to
mm,
say that to any team, but they might come back. But that's what we're seeing. They're getting now crushed by Scotland, and they're now losing to Netherlands. A point
exactly.
that I've noted is associate nations don't have absolutely. I've no fear when they're playing stronger teams. Even Sri Lanka was in some
Hmm.
trouble when they're playing against Netherlands, and that too against Netherlands side without eight of their best players.
Hmm.
So remember that. So this associate nations have no fear now.
It's
Whoever
good
it
to
is,
see that.
they'll go
It's
and
good to
play.
see
They
that.
will try to win. So West Indies, yeah, this young group. So blaming them as far as not right. Puran at least is scoring started to score some runs for West Indies.
Hmm.
That's a good sign. They have a couple of young players coming through. That left-hander, At- Atik Enzai, whatever. Pronunciation is not exactly right from my side, but I've seen him bat. He looks good. They have young players coming through, but they somehow don't seem to develop. For example, Chimar Holder look good. He was 2 seasons ago. He looked good. He was getting bounced, injured. Once he got injured, back injury. After that, I don't know where he has disappeared.
Hmm.
They get these young players. They don't seem to develop. So that is where West Indies have to think of. I don't think they will like ever again get back to the old days from 1979 to. I think their great best phase was between 1979 to 1985. After that, they
Hmm.
produced some very good sides until 92 93, but their best phase was, I think, from 1979 to 85. I don't think they will ever get back to that level. But what they can do, as Ian Bishop said, is they can be competitive if they get some solid structures in place in West Indies, and that will help. And the other thing is T20
The
cricket
board
obviously
should
has
come
taken
up,
over.
actually.
Not just about board. The T20 cricket has taken over.
Ah,
See, there's a difference. See, I don't want to go deep into it, but West Indies is made up of islands. So
exactly.
it's not like they're playing for India or England or Australia.
Hmm.
So they are playing for an entity, right? So sometimes
Hmm.
it can happen where you think T20 cricket is where I have to think or look at. Someone like Simran Hetpai, obviously, question marks have been raised over him, over his discipline. He missed 3 flights. They arranged 3 flights.
Hmm.
People keep telling why Simran Hetmyer is not in the West Indies squad, but he missed 3 flights. So these sort of things you have to remember. So I'm not blaming Hetmyer here again. As I said, West Indies is just an entity. It is not a country.
Hmm.
So that these sort of things West Indies board also have to think of. And obviously there is funding issue. Well, yeah, it doesn't look good for them. But as Ian Bishop said, if they can get solid structures in place,
Exactly.
then at least they can be competitive and continue to be competitive.
Exactly. And this West Indies side reminds me of the Italian football side. They won 4 World Cups back in 2006. Also won the World Cup. Then 2010 went out of the group stage. 18, 22.
But
They didn't even qualify for the World
but
Cup.
Italy won the Euro champions Euro championship no in 2020.
Yeah,
When was it? They won that Euro
like
championship.
West Indies winning the T20 World Cup.
Yeah,
But
but still same format, right? West Indies winning T20 is different from ODI cricket. That's
exactly.
what I would. They still have some good players. I saw that final. They still seem to have some good players. And Italy, they have not qualified before as well. I remember they didn't qualify somewhere once before 2008, 2021. I don't remember which one was
Hmm.
it. They were not qualified before once or somewhere. So Euro Championship also they won. I'm not sure that's the best comparison because West Indies have been on decline for I don't know overall basis they've been in decline for some 25 years. So, yeah, T20
Hmm.
format is one format where uh, they were doing really well, but even there not nowadays because I feel it's also because they don't do a lot of rotation or strike. They think of hitting sixes and boundaries. Some Chris Gale might do it. Chris Gale is, I think,
Hmm.
one of the few batters who can be on 10 or 15 and suddenly he'll be on 60 or 35. But I don't think every single player can do it. So that is where I think West Indies are sleeping. They don't do these basic things right, even in T20 cricket, and keep losing. They only look for sixes.
Exactly. Well, Bharat, it was lovely talking to you. And as we were talking about the management, what the management can do, and we brought up football also. So, for our viewers, do check our website for Shajib Ravakaran's interview with Boryada on the he has answered some serious questions on some allegations of financial mismanagement in the All India Football Federation and all. So, and the interview is also coming up, the video interview. So, do keep a track on that. And thank you for watching. Harda, thank you for joining. We'll be back again tomorrow. So, have a lovely day.